Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. I think Raj is already on Discord, so we're just gonna go pop in there, start the show. Hello.
Hey, how you going? How's it going, man? Wow, I've been up all night. I'm at the beach.
You're at the beach.
Yeah, why not? Worse in Ocean City, might as well.
And really nice sunrise coming up, or whatever.
Sun's already up, man. I
Looks really pink behind you.
I filmed the sun. Let me give you a look at it here. You see it out there?
Weather report from Roger from Ocean City.
There's the sun.
The sun is there.
We got him, sun.
Another day successfully arrives.
I filmed that with my camera, but then the chip got full, so we'll see how much of that got even saved. Yeah, I was either going to go to sleep or stay up. I ended up staying up. I didn't want the sun to be swiping my camera from the beach.
Yeah. Oh, free camera.
My luck will be some giant vulture or something come along. It's mine. All right, ready for the stories?
All right. Today on Before Coffee. In Spain, man 40 dies from suspected carbon monoxide leak in Mallorca.
New York Rep George Santos facing federal criminal charges or something.
MEPs vote on proposed ban on Big Brother AI facial recognition on streets.
A jury finds Trump liable for battery and defamation in E. Jean Carroll trial.
And French journalist killed in Russian rocket strike in Ukraine.
Careful, you journalists. And Monty Python fans had a field day with King Charles III's coronation. Today at the beach on May 10th, 2023 edition of Before Coffee and During Coffee.
All right. Well, I haven't had my coffee yet or anything to drink, but let's go into it anyway.
Slap yourself a couple times.
Newlywed Jamie Carsey, 40, found in holiday let and wife Mary Somerville, 39, in serious condition in hospital. A suspected carbon monoxide leak from a fridge in a holiday let, or basically, I don't know why it's British, holiday let.
Overmodulating a bit.
And what?
So you might be overmodulating a bit. A little bit distortion.
Maybe on your side, but not on the recording. Because I control my audio on my actual recording.
Yeah, I never know when I suck, so go ahead.
A suspected carbon monoxide leak from a fridge in a holiday let in Mallorca is being blamed for the death of an Edinburgh-based financial analyst. Jamie Carsey, 40, was found dead on Saturday morning in a bed in the home northeast of the island. His newlywed wife, Mary Somerville, 39, was found lying unconscious next to him. Somerville, who runs a health and beauty business, remains in serious condition in Manacor Hospital, according to local reports. A spokesperson for Guardia Civil Police Force in Mallorca says, everything suggests that this was due to the malfunctioning of a gas fridge, led to a carbon monoxide leak. The man was found dead and the woman unconscious on Saturday morning. Both were found on the bed. It appears to have been a domestic accident. I hope there wasn't an assassination for an analyst, a random data analyst. Yeah, it probably is an accident. Spokesperson confirmed that a post-mortem examination has been carried out on the man's body, but said he had no further details. According to reports in the local Ultima Hora newspaper, the couple had been due to join friends for a boat trip on Saturday. When they failed to show, the friends alerted the police, who went to the rented farmhouse in Capdepera, northeast of the island, found the man dead and his wife unconscious. The paper reported that the autopsy performed on Monday had determined that the man had died from carbon monoxide poisoning. According to his LinkedIn profile, Carsi studied computer engineering in Madrid before obtaining a master's in mathematical trade finance at London's Cass Business School. Since 2017, he had worked as an investment analyst in Edinburgh for Ballygifford, it said. In his Facebook profile, Carsi said he was from Madrid, but he lived in Edinburgh. Patty Montella, a friend of the couple, paid tribute to Carsi on Instagram. She wrote, "Amy Carsi came into my life and took my residence in my heart. So many years ago in London. His smile and his spirit are pure love, and when he married our precious Edinburgh girl, Sweet Mary, match made in heaven. What a prince you are, such a magnificent soul." Yeah, the really sad news. Watch out for your fridges. You have gas, and they kill you.
That's great.
Make sure that's why you have to replace your appliances. Make sure that they don't leak. Your PSA.
Thank you. Thank you for the public service announcement. In criminal news, a short story here. People to write this for some reason. Osamo, Art, Jake, working 3 people.
Sorry, can you
New
say that
York
again?
AP U.S. Rep. George Santos, if that is his real name, who faced outrage and mockery over a litany of fabrications about his heritage, education, and professional pedigree, has been charged with federal criminal offenses. 2 people familiar with the matter told the Associated Press the charges against Santos, filed in the Eastern District of New York, remained under seal. The people could not publicly discuss specific details of the case until it is unsealed, and spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity. The unsealing would happen when Santos appears in court, which could come as soon as Wednesday. Reached on Tuesday, Santos said, "This is news to me." Which, can you believe what he says? "You're the first to call me about this," he said in a brief phone interview. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment. The charges were first reported by CNN. The New York Republican has admitted to lying about having Jewish ancestry, a Wall Street background, college degrees, and a history as a star volleyball player. Serious questions about his finances also surfaced, including the source of what he claimed was a quickly amassed fortune despite recent financial problems, including evictions and owing thousands of dollars of back rent. Santos has resisted calls to resign and recently announced that he's running for re-election. He said his lies about his life story, which included telling people he had jobs at several global financial firms and his lavish real estate portfolio, were harmless and embellishments in his resume. Oh, yeah. Pressure on him to quit, though, has been intense. Reporters and members of the public hounded him. He was mocked on social media and late-night television. Fellow New York Republicans demanded he resign, saying he had betrayed voters in his own party with his lies. Nassau County prosecutors and New York Attorney General's office had previously said they were looking into possible violations of the law. So, George Santos is going to have to give up his astronaut job and his professional volleyball career and all them other things he pretended he was, because he might be going to prison. Your story.
Yeah, professional embellishments, more like lies. Just straight up lies.
He's a lying sack of George Santos.
All right. In artificial intelligence news, MEPs to vote on proposed ban on Big Brother AI facial recognition on streets. Moves to ban the live Big Brother facial recognition technology from being deployed across the streets of the EU will be tested in a key vote at the European Parliament on Thursday. The amendment is part of a package of proposals. That's nice. Tongue twister for my mouth. For the world's first artificial intelligence laws, which could see firms fined up to 10 million or moved from trading within the EU for breaches of the rules. The ban is expected to be challenged by a group of center-right MEPs on the grounds that biometric scanning should be deployed to combat serious crimes such as terrorism. An amendment to Article 5 of the proposed Artificial Intelligence Act, prohibiting the use of cameras to follow people around shops, streets, and parks, or any other public places, will go before the committee on Thursday. It will also ban companies from using AI to identify individuals by match scans on CCTV, images posted by users on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media platforms. Wait, but people don't like that because they also want to be able to follow around possible terrorists. But the problem with that is, just look at what happened in the U.S. Oh yeah, we're gonna pass the Patriot Act or whatever, and just spy on our own people for no reason, really. Divulge a bunch of other secrets that have nothing to do with terrorism, the risk of terrorism, or any national threat. We're just gonna spy on our own people and not let anybody know until a whistleblower, right? Edward Snowden, right?
Yeah. Edward Snowden. Putin's buddy.
Well, he's only there because he's a traitor to the U.S. for divulging the secret that they were spying on everybody. Not even just the U.S., but other countries as well. They were just going crazy.
Oh no! The United States has spies. Wow, what a revelation! Now he's a guy who just divulged a bunch of information without even realize how much damage he was actually doing. Probably got people killed. Anyway.
Oh. Anyways.
Selfish and considerate person.
An amendment to Article 5 of the proposed Artificial Intelligence Act prohibiting the use of cameras to follow around. Oh wait, we already did that one, I think. Yeah. Another amendment bans the use of so-called emotional recognition, which might allow computer systems to recognize when someone is tired. And amid concerns it could be misused by employers or the state. Such surveillance is already used in parts of China by traffic police. A BBC documentary on its development in China found it was not foolproof, with one truck driver accused of using a phone while driving, who, on closer inspection, was found to have been scratching his nose. Hey, you can't scratch your nose while driving anymore. That's illegal. That is distracted driving.
Everything's distracted driving.
A proposed ban on live biometric scanning is one of the 12 so-called compromise amendments whittled down from more than 3,000 to the AI Act. Sources say it's the only one expected to pass at the committee stage on Thursday. A pointed division between groups. There will be a number of colleagues of the EPP, the European People's Party, will very likely vote against that part of the compromise. Dragos Tudorache, co-rapporteur of the AI Act, told The Guardian. Kim van Sparentak, the Dutch Green Party MEP, said the use of live scanning made possible by AI was completely against our fundamental rights and an unacceptable risk. The AI Act, which is the first of its kind, has been in the making for almost 2 years, with fresh amendments added recently to address risk posed by general purpose AI systems and ChatGPT. Tudorache says he is confident that the AI Act will calm anxieties among the general public that have become heightened over the past months amid talk of AI destroying jobs, taking over from medics, or being used by bad actors to interfere with elections and spread disinformation. Asked if the EU was not acting too late to address ChatGPT just a month before the entire European Parliament is asked to vote on the AI Act, he said, "If we are late, where are all the other jurisdictions that haven't even started to consider regulation?" Yeah, if we're late, everyone else is really late. Many believe the AI Act will become the gold standard of regulation around the globe, adopted by giants such as Google, Microsoft, and social media companies. It is known at as the Brussels effect. If the EU moves first and has sensible standards, other countries will start with the EU goals when designing their own regulations. Even if you don't, companies may voluntarily adopt the rules globally because it makes the cost of doing business cheaper. Yes, that's indeed how humans work for the most part. Hey, that guy has a good idea. Let's copy him. On to your next story.
All right, in rape or alleged rape news, jury finds Trump sexually abused writer in New York department store. This is from BBC News, because the other article I read was just too long and just got caught up in name calling and crap. Anyway, a jury in a civil case has found former President Donald Trump sexually abused a magazine columnist in a New York department store in the 1990s. Trump was found not liable for raping E. Jane Carroll in a rape dressing room in Bergdorf Goodman. The jury also found Mr. Trump liable for defamation for calling the writer's accusations a hoax and a lie. It's the first time Trump has been found legally responsible for a sexual assault. The Manhattan jury ordered Mr. Trump to pay her about $5 million. The jury of 6 men and 3 women reached their decision after less than 3 hours of deliberations on Tuesday. Today, the world finally knows the truth, Ms. Carroll said in a written statement following the verdict. The victory is not just for me.
You're putting the phone in front of the
camera. Every woman has suffered because she was not believed. Mr. Trump's lawyer said the former precedent plans to appeal the decision because the trial is in a civil court rather than a criminal. Mr. Trump will not be required to register as a sex offender. The former president, who has denied Ms. Carroll's accusation, did not attend the 2-week civil trial in the Manhattan federal court. Ms. Carroll, 79, held the hands of both her lawyers as the verdict was read in court and smiled as she was rewarded damages by the jury. Trump's lawyer, Joe Tacopina, shook her hand as the trial ended, telling her congratulations and good luck, I guess. Robert Kaplan, a lawyer for the plaintiffs, said in a statement, "This is a victory not only for E. Jean Carroll, but for democracy itself and for all survivors everywhere." After the verdict, Mr. Trump, 76, posted on his social media platform, Truth Social, in all capital letters, "I have absolutely no idea who this woman is." Okay. That's not what he said in the deposition. He said different things in the deposition. The standard proof of civil cases is lower than criminal cases, meaning that jurors are only required to find that it was more than likely than not that Mr. Trump assaulted Ms. Carroll. While the jury found Mr. Trump liable for sexual battery and defamation of Ms. Carroll, they did not find Mr. Trump liable for raping her. To do so, the jury would have needed to have been convinced that Mr. Trump had engaged in non-consensual sexual intercourse with Ms. Carroll. The trial saw a tense cross-examination between Ms. Carroll and Mr. Trump's lawyers. Her legal team called 11 witnesses to corroborate her claims that Mr. Trump had assaulted her in a lingerie department of a luxury store in 1995-1996. They included 2 women who also say they were sexually assaulted by Mr. Trump decades ago. One woman told juries that Trump groped her during a flight in the 1970s, and others said that Trump had forcibly kissed her while she was interviewing him for an article she was writing in 2005. 2 longtime friends of Ms. Carroll testified that she told them about the encounter shortly after it occurred. On the stand, Ms. Carroll described in graphic detail what she alleges happened in the store and the trauma that she says she has endured as a result. "I'm here because Donald Trump raped me, and when I wrote about it, he lied and said it didn't happen." Mr. Trump called no witnesses and appeared only in a video of deposition that was played for jurors in which he denied rape. "It's the most ridiculous, disgusting story," Mr. Trump said in the footage. "It's just made up." One of the key moments in the video is when Trump at one point confused Ms. Carroll for his ex-wife Marla Maples, which Ms. Carroll's lawyers argued undermined his claim that she was not his type. In other words, Trump said, "Oh, I wouldn't have gone anywhere with her. She's not my type." And then in the picture of his ex-wife, Marla Maples, well, actually, he mistook her for his ex-wife. So he married a woman that looked just like her, but she's not his type.
Yeah.
The former Elle magazine columnist was able to bring the civil case against Trump after New York passed the Adult Survivors Act in 2022. The law allowed 1-year period for victims to file sexual assault lawsuits in the state involving claims that would have normally exceeded statute of limitations. He's not going to jail, and he's probably going to pay a fine, but that's okay. He can go to jail for the real criminal stuff he's done in several states. But there you go, another verdict against Trump. Well, the first verdict against, he's had a verdict against his organization already in New York.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens now as we keep going forward, I suppose.
Yeah. And of course, the Republicans just want him to die. Oh,
do they?
Oh, legitimately. That's they when is he gonna die? He's 76. Guarantee it.
Well, people are living well into their 90s these days, so.
That's one of the most open secrets of Washington, D.C. is the Republicans really want him dropped down. Your story.
All right. In Russian news, or Ukrainian war news, I guess, not, but also Russian. AFP video coordinator Armin Soldan, 32, who's totally dedicated to his craft, died in an attack near Bakhmut. As you remember correctly, Bakhmut is one of the heavy fire zones in the conflict that has, I think recently, the entire mercenary army hired by Russia, which I can't remember the name of them right now, has left that area, which I think is why a lot of journalists felt it was safe to go in there and do some reporting. The French journalist working for Agence France Presse news agency has been killed in Ukraine in a Russian rocket strike near the battle-torn eastern city of Bakhmut. Armin Soldan, a 30-year-old video coordinator, died on Monday when a Grad missile landed close to where he was lying. Soldan was with the Ukrainian soldiers in the town of Chasiv Yar, 6 miles from Bakhmut, where fighting has raged for months. His colleagues were there with him when the attack happened. The rest of the team was uninjured. The whole agency is devastated by the loss of Armin. The AFP chair, Fabrice Fries, says his death is a terrible reminder of the risks and dangers faced by journalists every day covering the conflict in Ukraine. Well, war journalists especially. Yeah. People sitting at their desk aren't in much danger. When we're not in danger because we're covering the Ukrainian war.
Real journalists get out in the field, so.
Yeah. Oh, we're fake journalists. Well, you're in the field.
We're definitely fake journalists. What are you thinking? Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we're not doing any journalism, that's true. At least 11 journalists, fixers, and drivers for media organizations have been killed covering the war in Ukraine. According to the group Reporters Without Borders, last week, Ukrainian fixer Bogdan Bitik was shot dead in the southern city of Kherson, and Italian correspondent Corrado Zunino injured. Russian snipers opened fire on the pair after spotting them next to the Antonivsky Bridge between the Ukrainian-controlled and Russian-occupied banks of the Dnipro River. We talked about this, I believe, when it happened. Friends paid tribute to Soldan, describing him as a fantastic reporter. Terrible news. You can really say that Armin risked his life to tell the story. The Guardian's former Kiev correspondent Isabel Kolshwev tweeted. She added, he seemed to be almost constantly on the front lines. It was one of the very few in the East throughout the last several months. Ukrainian's defense ministry has recently introduced a new system of media accreditation. Special permissions is now required to visit red zones in areas close to Russian military positions. The Ukrainian army typically escorts journalists in visits to the front line. Born in Sarajevo, Soldan was a French national. He began working for AFP as an intern in its Rome bureau in 2015 and was later hired in London, the agency said. He was part of the first AFP team to be sent to Ukraine after Russians' invasion on the 24th of February 2022, arriving the very next day. Soldan had been living in Ukraine since September, leading the team's coverage and traveling regularly to hotspots in the east and south. Armin's brilliant work encapsulated everything that has made us so proud of AFP's journalism in Ukraine. The agency's global news director, Phil Chetwynd, said in a statement, his death is a terrible reminder of the risks and dangers of covering this war. Our thoughts tonight are with his family and friends, with all the people on the ground in Ukraine. AFP Europe's director, Christine Buhagiar, remembered Soldan as an enthusiastic, energetic, and brave. He was a real on-the-ground reporter, always ready to work, even if the most difficult places, she said. He was totally devoted to his craft. Yeah, you have to be pretty devoted to go to a war zone. This is kind of an understatement, really. He was devoted, you say? Yeah, no kidding. Either way, rest in peace to Soldan and all the other reporters who are risking their lives every day to make sure we know what's actually going on the ground, instead of just, sitting in our armchairs and pretending that we know what's going on.
Yes, and we need good reporters. We need good reporters, and we need a free press. Very important, because we don't need to listen to the official word of the government to know what's going on. All right. In humor news, who's seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Most people.
Well, You'll be glad to know that King Charles III is safe from killer rabbits. And you'll also, just so many lines coming in my head right now. Oh, king, eh? Very nice, very nice. How'd you get that? By oppressing the working people. That's from Dennis. Dennis, the guy in the field. Okay. Monty Python fans, this is from, oh great, I got a pop-up email over what I was just about to read. Okay, scroll down. This is from the Mary Sue website. Monty Python's fan had a field day with King Charles III's coronation. It seems that feelings are mixed about King Charles. Not many people seem to like the guy. Here in the U.S., he's known mainly for divorcing Princess Diana and helping drive his own son out of the country because of racist harassment against Meghan Markle. His coronation, which happened last Saturday, sparked a plethora of memes. Monty Python fans in particular went to town on one detail. During the coronation, the British monarch holds an item called the Sovereign's Orb. The Sovereign's Orb, according to the Royal Collection Trust, is a representation of the monarch's power. It symbolizes the Christian world with its cross set on a globe. That's a cool message for the brutal empire to send all the nations that conquered, subjugated, and robbed over the years. Aside from that, the orb is basically a golden ball covered in gems with a cross on top. It resembles the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Charles was just handed the holy hand grenade of Antioch. It looks just like it. What, you ask, is the holy hand grenade of Antioch? Why, it's the sacred relic in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. When King Arthur and his knights are confronted with a truly terrifying monster, a killer rabbit, they get out the holy hand grenade, recite a passage from the Book of Armaments, chapter 9, verses 9-12 to be exact, and then lob the hand grenade at the hideous thing. Here are the relevant verses for the more pious among you. I'll break it to my best Michael Palin voice. And Saint Attila raised the hand grenade up on high, saying, O Lord, bless this thy hand grenade, that with thou mayest blow thine enemies to tiny bits in thy mercy. And the Lord did grin, and the people did feast upon the lambs and sloths and carp and anchovies and orangutans and breakfast cereals and fruit bats and large chunks of. And the Lord spake, saying, First shalt thou take out the holy pen, then thou shalt count to 3, no more, no less. There shall be 3 shall be the count, shall be the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 shalt not thou count, neither count thou 2, excepting that thou then proceed to 3. 5 is right out. Once the number 3, having been the third number, be reached, then lobest thou thy holy hand grenade of Antioch towards thy foe, who being naughty in my sight, shall snuff it. The sovereign's orb has been used in coronations for centuries, but that's special. What's special about this coronation is that it's the first one since Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Hey!
We've never been able to joke about this in real time before. It turned a humdrum Saturday church visit into a historic event. And somebody's Twitter comments are great. Let's get some real facts behind this thing, this holy hand grenade of Antioch. A few people also took the opportunity to point out that all the cool sparkles in the crown jewels are stolen. England has, this is from a tweet from somebody named Kwanzaa Asejefo. England has no precious gems and metals. Emeralds come from Colombia, Zambia, Brazil, and Zimbabwe. Sapphires from Kashmir, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Madagascar. South Africa and Botswana, gold and diamonds. So everything on that thing is from their imperial conquests. Here's another gem, so to speak. When British politician Penny Mordaunt carried a large sword in a procession, a few people pointed out that a strange woman distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. It's a good point in Holy Grail. when Arthur claims he's king because the Lady of the Lake gave him Excalibur. And it's a good point now.
Exactly.
Apologies for any inaccuracies and typos in this post. Those responsible have been sacked. That's from the opening credits of the movie. All right,
Yes.
your story.
Yeah, such a great story on the Monty Python Holy Grail.
Funniest movie of all time. I still laugh at it. I've seen it maybe 500 times. All right, go ahead.
Yeah,
My name's
it's
Dennis.
great. There's so many good jokes. Yeah.
My name was Dennis. We didn't bother to find out. Did you?
All right. In culture news, let's look at what happened in the semifinal. Just quickly looking at the semifinals of Eurovision from last night. As people may know or may not know, this year was the first time only people or viewers were allowed to vote on who would go next into the finals. So no countries were allowed to vote for each other or make coalitions or decide who's going next. It was only the audience who was voting. So we have here are the results, which are including Switzerland and Finland are going through, the Czech Republic and Israel as well. Serbia is through, Portugal and top favorite Sweden are 7th and 8th. And then, of course, last name called is Norway, who is currently a fan favorite along with Sweden. This means, unfortunately, that the Netherlands is out. Now, as somebody who lives in the Netherlands, the article I'm reading is directly about this, so we're going to specifically talk about how the Netherlands got kicked out, because this is a report from NOS, which is a Dutch news source. The song bumped up in tone and a half 2 weeks ago, and a chorus was put behind it, but it was worth it. Burning Daylight sounded good. Mia and Dion started off fragile, but nowhere did it really get off key. They can look back on a good performance. In less than an hour, they were kicked off of the show, unfortunately, and not let into the finals. What do they feel about this? They feel bad, but with their heads held high. Mia and Dion are disappointed by their elimination in the first semi-final of the Eurovision Song Contest, but we go home with our heads held high, they say. Dion Cooper said he was thankful for the whole ride. It is what it is. It's still a bit of a bummer. We really want to be part of it. Also because we had a very crazy ride and overcame obstacles. So I'm really disappointed. But that's just part of it, and I am proud of what we've done. Mia Nikolai is also disappointed by the elimination, but she also remains positive. I'm just very proud that I managed to go from being on stage 20 times to suddenly in front of so many people and just doing it without panic or anything. I'm so proud of that, and so proud of Dion and how we did this process together. According to Cooper, the strong field was a big part in their elimination. I think we just had a very difficult semifinal. It was just a very strong pot. For the first time, we only had televoting and no jury vote. We gave everything. So, no more Dutch singers are in the final, but a song written by a Dutch man still has a chance. Next Thursday, you can hear Bridges from Estonian singer Alika in the second semifinal. The song was co-written by Wouter Hardy, who also wrote with Duncan Lawrence's Arcade. Just like Burning Daylight, it will be difficult. Bookmakers give the number a 56% chance of going through. So basically, bet on them, but in your own risk. Duncan Lawrence is so proud of me and Nikolai and Dion Cooper. You fought, the duo singer-accompanist wrote in his Instagram stories. Duncan Lawrence brought the duo together for the Eurovision Song Contest and took on the role as creative director himself. You gave everything, and you're completely yourself on the biggest stage in the world. No one can take that away from you anymore, said the former Eurovision winner. Yeah, the winner can say that, can't he? Because he's won before. Avrotros is also incredibly proud of Mia and Dion. Despite the fact that they did not make it to the final, the broadcaster responsible for the Dutch entry has announced this in its response on social media. We know it would be difficult in this difficult first semi-final, and it is of course a great pity that we did not manage to reach the final, said Avrotros. Mia and Dion put on a fantastic performance, and we remain incredibly proud of what they've achieved. Yeah, I mean, they did do a ballad, and there's a lot of really exciting songs, like Cha Cha Cha, of course, is just complete camp. And I think we need a return to camp in these shows. Enough ballads, unless the ballads are camp. But I don't know. I think I don't know. It's your opinion whether you think this ballad was camp. I guess you have to watch it if you haven't already and decide for yourself. I don't think ballads are so camp as...
All music is subjective.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
if you have personal experience, you can apply it to any song, man. You know, I mean, most songs are very subjective. Even like the songs in the world, even though you think the artist knows what you think, right? But he has no idea what you think. But they're good songs for that reason. Anyway, sorry.
No, you can go ahead. That's the end of the article, so...
This day in history, okay? So, this day in history, May 10th, famously, in the song The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, May 10th, by May 10th, Richmond had fell. It's a time that I remember oh so well. And in 1865, in this song, what happened on May the 10th? It was so significant in the Civil War. Jefferson Davis, president of the Confederacy, was captured by Union troops near Irwindale, Georgia, on this day in 1865. And legendarily was dressed as a woman. But they've never been proven. He was running, though. Louis XVI acceded to the throne of France in this day in 1774. He was married to Marie Antoinette, who famously said, "Let them eat cake," and then she lost her head. Well, they both did. Both Louis and Marie. They had a little ceremony there. 1775, the Green Mountain Boys, under the joint command of Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold, captured the British-controlled Fort Ticonderoga during the American Revolution. 1818, American patriot Paul Revere, folk hero of the American Revolution, died in Boston. 1838, John Wilkes Booth was born. In 1838 on this day. 1867, the Indian Mutiny erupted in Meerut in reaction to the increased pace of westernization in India and military crackdowns on Indian troops by British officers. In 1869, the tracks of the Central Pacific and the Union Pacific were joined at Promontory, Utah, to form the first transcontinental railway in the United States. So
and then we never went back.
Both coasts were linked up in 1869 on this day. In 1872, American reformer Victoria Woodhull became the first woman to be nominated for president when the Equal Rights Party selected her as its candidate. In 1924, U.S. public official J. Edgar Hoover was made acting director of the FBI and later in the year became director. He built the agency in a highly effective, if occasionally controversial, spying arm of the federal law enforcement. In 1940, after losing the support of many conservatives in the House of Commons, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain resigned his office and was replaced by Winston Churchill. In 1940, Germany invaded Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands during World War II. So on this day in 1940, you would be hauling ass because the Germans were rolling across the border.
Well, actually, no, most people didn't really haul. They thought they were just going to pass through. Dutch people didn't have guns. They didn't have anything. So they were just like, oh, I guess they'll just pass through and leave us alone. That did not happen. The Germans thought they were coming over for a holiday. They're like, hey, cousin. And then like, we're not your cousins.
In 1962, Marvel Comics released the first issue of The Incredible Hulk. It was created by writer Stan Lee and artist Jack Kirby. 1994, serial killer John Wayne Gacy was executed at the age of 52. He murdered 33 boys and young men, and he worked as a party clown, which makes people fear clowns. 1999, American cartoonist and author poet Shel Silverstein died at the age of 68. You know, Shel Silverstein wrote Goodnight Moon. He also wrote A Boy Named Sue. He wrote a bunch of other, what do you want to call them, novelty hits. In 2002, American FBI agent Robert Hansen was sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to spying for Moscow. He was one of the Soviet Union and Russia's most valuable double agents and most damning spy ever to penetrate the FBI. And the big event today was 1994. Nelson Mandela inaugurated as president of South Africa.
Hey!
And birthdays today. Fred Astaire was born on this day in 1899. Linda Evangelista, Canadian fashion model, was born in 1965. Bono was born this day in 1960. Happy birthday, Bono. And another guy with one name from the same island, Donovan, was born on this day. I'm sorry, no, wait, he's Scottish. Different island. Bono was born in Ireland, Donovan born in Scotland on the same day, 14 years apart. But they all both have one name. Okay, and Fred Astaire has two names, already mentioned him. And what day is it today? Hopefully not too bad. Let's see. Hopefully not too ridiculous.
Looking at the sunrise day.
Yeah, what is it today? Let's start at the bottom. Let's get to the bottom here where they start announcing birthdays. Oh boy, this goes for a while. Oh no, okay, we got people's birthdays. Skipping birthdays. It's World Orienteering Day. Orienteering Day. It's how to figure out where you are or where you're going, basically. It's World Lupus Day. Spread the news and join the fight against lupus. World Facilities Management Day. Well, damn. Somebody had to correct that. Trust Your Intuition Day. That hasn't worked lately. Root Canal Appreciation Day. Oh my God. If you appreciate a root canal, your life is not going well. Just got to say. Root canal. Somebody drill it into your jaw. Oh boy. One day without shoes. Here we are. We had days without socks. Now we got one day without shoes. We had mismatched socks. Now we got no shoes. Walking around. That's why I'm at the beach. Don't wear
Walking on the sand.
Don't wear shoes to the beach because you're just going to get them full of sand. Don't wear anything to the beach. Occupational safety
just go
and health.
naked.
It's about 45 degrees. Occupational Fahrenheit and Health Professional Day. It's National Washington Day. Okay.
Like
the state.
the state,
not the city. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Raise your glasses. It's time to coast the lush bountifulness of Evergreen State. I love Washington State. That's one of my favorite places, especially the Cascade Mountains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. And there's no bugs anywhere. I was there in summer. It probably sucks in the winter. National Third Shift Workers Day. That's the shift I work today. National Small Business Day, which usually don't have a third shift. National Ship Via Rail Day. Well, that happens anyway, whether you like it or not. National School Nurse Day. National Night Shift Workers Day. Didn't we just do that with a third shift, guys? National Lipid Day. Lipids are fats. Make sure you eat some fat.
Yeah, it's where all the flavor is. It doesn't make you gain weight. It only makes your food taste good. And that way you don't replace the actual flavor with sugar, which does make you gain weight. It's all a conspiracy.
It makes you gain weight unless you burn it as energy. And yeah, lipids are fat. Again, fat equals flavor. It's one of my favorite sayings.
Yep.
Low fat. Go buy some food with no fat in it. It tastes like the package.
Plastic.
National Golf Day. Yeah, it's awful. National Golf Day. I might go do that today, but I'm just too damn tired. National Clean Your Room Day. Definitely not doing that today.
I did that yesterday.
And it's Mother's Day in Mexico. It's Madres.
Why do we always have it on like 15 different days?
I don't know. It's Mother's Day in America pretty soon, too. Mother's Day.
And here as well. I don't know what day it is, though.
It's Mother Ocean Day, too. And it's Micronesia Constitution Day. If you know where Micronesia is, good luck to you. International Day of Argania. Get ready to celebrate argan trees on the International Day. Good Lord, it just keeps going. Donate a day's wages to Charity Day. It's National Shrimp Day. It's National Receptionist Day. And that's all the days it is. That's a lot. And
yeah, that's a lot of things.
It's the 10th day of May, and summer is still not here. There's nobody at the beach, and it's a good time to go get some coffee. So this is Roger. You can say it. Say goodbye.
And this is Ally. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you.
Roger saying goodbye, messing this whole thing up on the May 10th, 2023 edition of Before Coffee, the comprehensive news of planet Earth.
And that's been Allison here from the Netherlands, losing Eurovision contests and, well, people dying of monoxide poisoning. So remember, keep your appliances up to date. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. Because all of that helps spread our whatever this show is to the rest of the internet. And I hope to see you tomorrow for more exciting news.
And just prevent the killer rabbits. That's what we're trying to do.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.